All right, I want to start off with a question first. If you have applied for a loan, spent time gathering your documents, filling out every slide, doing everything right, and all you got back was a message that said, accepted, application unsuccessful, what would you do next? Most people do one of the three things. They would try again immediately, not knowing if that makes things worse. They give up on mainstream lending entirely, or they turn to something worse, like a payday loan or high interest credit. That's the problem we set out to solve. My name's Carrie, and together with my teammates, Sejan and Eris, we spent 6 weeks designing LendWise, an AI-powered loan eligibility explainer that transforms a silent rejection into a clear, personalized, and actionable path to approval. Our mentor was Pushkar. So let's take you through how we got here. The lending industry has a tendency problem. When the AI model declines a loan, it produces an accurate decision, but the explanation stays locked inside the system. What the applicant sees is a status code and a 2-word message that tells them nothing they can understand or act on. This is not just a bad user experience, but it has real consequences at all levels. For applicants, it's a dead end. They were confused about why they were declined, anxious about their credit score, and uncertain what to do next. Without guidance, many abandoned mainstream lending entirely and turned to predatory alternatives. For lenders, every declined applicant who walks away is a viable future customer that they will never see again. And with the FCA Consumer Duty in the UK and the Equal Credit Opportunity Act in the US, lenders are now legally expected to provide meaningful explanations. But that regulatory risk is real and growing. For society, financial exclusion compounds. The people who most need access to credit are the ones least equipped to navigate a system that gives them nothing back when it says no. Our problem statement is this: when loan applicants are declined, they rarely receive an explanation they can understand or act on. The process is opaque, leaving them confused, anxious, and uncertain how to improve their chances. Without guidance, many abandon mainstream lending entirely, turning to predatory alternatives, while lenders lose future customers and face regulatory risk. AI can deliver accurate, explainable decisions, but today, those explanations remain technically opaque, impersonal, and not useful for the people who need them most. This is the gap we designed for. Before we designed anything, we needed to understand the problem from 2 directions: the user and the market. Our research methods were competitor analysis, regulatory reviews, and AI-assisted secondary research using Claude mostly and ChatGPT to synthesize the patterns across the lending landscape. We audited the post-rejection experience across major lenders. We reviewed FCA duty guidance and ECOA requirements, We mapped the competitive landscape across credit monitoring apps, AI underwriting platforms, and credit building tools. What we found shaped not just what we designed, but how we designed it. 5 areas of research directly influenced our design decisions. First was the behavioral economics. Mainly, that was the system 1 and system 2 thinking. The declined applicant is operating entirely system 1, super fast. At the moment of rejection, they're anxious on their phone, reading a notification, presenting complex financial criteria at that moment triggers cognitive overload. This is why every screen in our product leads with the simplest possible information and puts detail behind a tab. The nudge theory shaped our default settings. Notification toggles preset to on, the wait and approve path visually recommend over apply now. These are choice architecture decisions that steer users towards better outcomes without removing autonomy. The second was explainable AI research, specifically the documented phenomenon that algorithmic aversion. Studies show that people distrust AI decisions more than equivalent human ones. But that trust recovers significantly when people are given transparency and a degree of control. This directly informed our trust layer. The third was financial literacy research. That financial literacy interventions fail when delivered at moments of stress. The problem is not a lack of knowledge, it's a lack of comprehension in a high-stakes emotional moment. That finding shaped the tone and sequence of our entire project. The fourth was service design, specifically principle of designing for emotional journey alongside a functional one. Sorry, I lost my place. The 3-layer architecture of our product maps directly to emotional states: confusion at the rejection moment, determination during the plan, and hope during the progress tracking. The fifth was the mobile first and stress state design. Our persona is smartphone primary user, which encountering this product in difficult, low attention contexts, like he's on a phone, on a bus, and he receives information, financial information when he's stressed. The most important thing always visible above the fold, a hierarchy. Eris, do you want to talk about the flows?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, well, so our user flow will start with the user when they receive their rejection. They would be given the option to open our application from the lender's website or software, and it would give them the option to generate their AI analysis of the reason why their loan application was rejected. Um, Along with that, we would also have our AI give them encouraging message to help them keep on with their way and do not feel abandoned or feel like they should give up. And from the analysis, our AI would also build a plan for the user to improve their credits, improve their application, what to work on, and it would also provide a timeline on when they should have their um, when they should have their application improved and which would be the best day or time period to reapply.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, so yeah, so it from that we actually have we from our original user flows we incorporate them into a single task flow, which would later on decide our key frames for our prototype. It's basically a simpler version of um, essentially the user's journey, going into the application after the rejection, getting their analysis, getting their generated plan, their next to-do steps for the application, and um, following the plan and following the plan, check all the boxes in their own checklist and um, keep improving until the day to reapply.
Susan, are you talking about slide 6?
Yeah, I can cover this. So we've done the user research to generate our persona and journey map, and also we've done competitor research as well. So for the user research part, we developed primary persona called Steph. So Steph is 29. She's a logistics coordinator applying for her first personal loan, probably to consider consolidate some credit card debt or cover an emergency. She has never had a credit product before. She's digitally competent, but not financially sophisticated. She rents in the city. She applied before because she believed she was doing the right thing. She got back 2 words, application unsuccessful. In her own words, it just said application unsuccessful. No reason, nothing. I spent 45 minutes filling it out. Do I try it again? Was it my salary, my address? I have no idea what I did wrong. So from Steph's experience, our pain point has been emerged. So the first one is no transparency. The rejection arrives with no explanation the staff can understand or act on. The second one is no next steps. She does not know what to do, and even if AI offered guidance, she would wonder whether it could be really be understood or understand her specific situation. The third is reapplication confusion. Will replying help or hurt their credit score? She doesn't know. And also there were no humans access. It's hard to reach support for clarification or escalation. And she didn't trust AI in the first instance because AI tend to give black box concerns. Is the decision fair and accurate? Or and last but not least, there were jargon barrier. So terms like DTI ratio go unexplained during the application, and she just got no clue on what's happening. Okay, next slide, please.
Team
Right.
2, 15 minutes is up, so you just have a couple of minutes to
Okay.
wrap up.
Right, correct. Right. So, the competitor research would cover these 4 points, which we can explain more in Q&A, but I will skip it for now. And now I'll move on to the AI opportunity. So why AI and why now? The decision is already made by AI. It will be insufficient, frankly strange, for the explanation to be less sophisticated than the decision itself. But more specifically, there are 4 things AI can do here that nothing else can do at the scale this problem demands. The first is translation at scale. AI can take lenders' technical rejection criteria and convert them into one specific plain language sentence for every individual applicant. The second is gap calculation. Not your score is low, but pay down for $20 and you qualify. The third is progress modeling. AI can project how an applicant's profile will change over time and tell them when they are ready to reply. The fourth is personalized acknowledgement at scale. At the moment of rejection, the product generates a response that names the applicant's effort, references their specific circumstances, and validates their situation. The why now? 3 things have converged, which were large language models have reached the quality threshold where plain language financial explanation is reliable enough to trust. This was not true 3 years ago. And the competitive window is narrow. The market will move. The product that established trust first will be hardest to replace. Why not a traditional approach? Because traditional approaches have already failed. Rule-based systems produce categories, not explanations. Human advisors provide empathy, but not at scale and not at the moment of rejection. The problem has never been a lack of information. It has been a lack of contextualized, timely, personal guidance at exactly the right moment. Okay. Right. So now we have the solution. How many minutes left? Sorry.
Your 15 minutes was already up, so how
Right.
many
Okay.
slides are left?
Think we have
About
6.
4. Oh, 6.
From the left-hand side, it look like 6, but some of them might be screenshots, or is that?
Yeah.
Let's give them like the Q&A time as well. Yeah. Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah. Yeah, we'll use the Q&A time for this. Yeah. Go on.
Okay, cool. Right. So the solution is so it has a 3-layered AI-powered experience. The first layer is the rejection moment. As Carrie has mentioned, so that for the rejection moment, it's a stressful moment that the user would experience. Therefore, we applied a level of empathy and understanding of this emotion response, and saying that not use a red cross and the application unsuccessful, but with a warm tone, the words not yet, and the immediate reassurance that this decision will not affect their credit score. So that gives them first-line relief. Then plain language reason cards translate each rejection factor into one sentence a friend might use. Not DTI threshold exceeded, but your monthly debt payments are slightly too high for your income. Okay. And the second layer is a plan. After 60-second live snapshot for tappable questions about the applicant's real circumstances, the AI builds a personalized roadmap, not a generic checklist, a data timeline with specific milestones. So the third layer is visible progress, a readiness score that updates as behavior changes, a dashboard that tracks every metric that matters, milestone celebrations when progress is made, and the reapplication signal, a push notification sent when the applicant's profile crosses the approval threshold. The lender reaches out to them, not the other way around. The product also has 2 entry points. Someone can check their eligibility before applying, or receive a recommendation on whether to apply now or improve first. This prevents the rejection experience entirely for some users. Now we move on to AI decision making.
Well, first we have some screenshots.
Oh yes, so
Sorry.
that's what we were referring to. Yeah, and in that presentation. Okay, so for the AI decision making, so based on the framework, the four-step framework, we are mostly focusing on inform, which was to explain the eligibility and reason for rejection, and also suggest options for them to take. And so we haven't gone through to go the assist or act because we think it might gone too far at this stage is when customers are not at the trust the AI explanation yet, but we wanted to get the information. That's the main point. So, the first is a prompting strategy. This AI is not given a generic instruction. It's told who it is talking to, a first-time applicant or a returning one, and it adjusts its tone, vocabulary, and depth accordingly. The second is confidence indicators. The AI rates its uncertainty as clear, borderline, or close call. A borderline rating automatically surfaces the human review option. Odds are shown as a range, 62 to 68%, rather than a single precise figure, because honesty about uncertainty builds more trust than false precision. The third is explainability. Every factor is shown with the decision weight. DTI at 40%, credit score at 25, and the same AI output, different complexity, serving every level of financial literacy without compromise. The fourth is feedback loops, which is very important. The plan updates automatically as the applicant completes actions and new data come in. A periodic, has anything changed? Prompt, let them feed new information back into the model. If they flag a data error, the AI codes the recommendation until a human reviews it. And if they are declined again, the AI compares the new rejection factors against the previous ones and generates a revised plan, not a repeated one. Okay, so we have some more the metrics slides, things regarding trust and transparency, and with impact and reflection. As our time is constrained, let's just jump to reflection now. And so, Carrie or Aris, would you like to summarize with our reflection?
Okay. Well, that went well. Thank you. The problem statement came from a genuine insight rather than a brief. Rejection is experienced as abandonment. Everything in the design follows from that. In the three-layer architecture, rejection moment, plan, progress emerge naturally from the research and held all the way through to the prototype. Sorry, that was my dog. So what was hard was the 6 weeks, the tight problem for this complex. Ideation and design moved faster than research could fully verify. We felt that tension, and it was honest to name it. The hardest challenge was user recruitment, finding recently declined applicants to interview, people that had been rejected in the last few weeks while their experience was still raw and generally difficult. What we learned, the tone of the design decision, the emotional experience of a product moment matters as much as the information it delivers. AI in UX is only as trustworthy as the transparency layer built around it. Explainability is the design problem, not just a technical one. And the strongest problem statement is the output of the research, not in the beginning of it. So what comes next? Usability testing with real declined applicants, a lender partnership to test the B2B model, an accessibility audit, bias training, and the expanding of the pre-application eligibility check to a full feature so the product can prevent rejections, not just explain them. So before we close, we want to thank you, organizers of this challenge, for creating the space for us to work, where the problem generally matters. And I guess we're ready for some questions.
I'll probably send the questions later through Padma. I think we spent the Q&A time for the presentation. So any follow-up questions I have, I'll ask Padma to contact you guys. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. Thanks